Hi there, and welcome along. I'm the gardener Ben. The peony I'm going to talk to you about today is a really good beginner's peony. If you're new to gardening or you're very impatient, this particular plant is very popular, and it's popular for a good reason. It establishes itself so quickly and rewards the brand new gardener with so many flowers very quickly. So if you listen to an awful lot of people that say peonies take a long time to establish, they can be a little bit temperamental depending on where you plant them. They can be temperamental about how deep you plant them. This particular one, Bowl of Beauty, is going to rebuff all of those things for you. This is a really great one to start with. If you are not particularly great at gardening, you're a little bit on the lax side with your care and your maintenance, or you're just starting out and want to get something established that's going to give you a reward really quickly, Peony Bowl of Beauty is a really good place to start. This particular peony is going to reach around 65 to 75 centimeters tall. It's going to establish itself really quickly, and it's not going to mind whether you plant it in full sun or partial shade, so it's really quite tolerable on what you can actually do with it. Once it's established, it's going to reward the gardener very quickly with an awful lot of flowers. Unlike some peonies which are going to produce one particular flower on a stem, Bowl of Beauty has the ability to produce, look, you see this one here, already three flowers on this particular stem, and again two on this one, actually sorry, three that's on this one that's completely open already. So it's going to reward the gardener with an awful lot of flowers very quickly, establish itself, get itself really healthy and vigorous, and form a clump, I say up to 65 to 75 centimeters tall, but also over a metre wide very quickly, meaning that if you wanted to divide it and you wanted to give some to friends, or you wanted to remove some about the garden quite quickly, you can do so really well, either as the plant goes dormant in the end of October or November, or at the very beginning of the growing season at the very end of February, maybe into the back end of March. So Bowl of Beauty is a really good peony to start out with. The foliage is very dark green, and unlike some of these peonies, it's very broad in its makeup. You can see nice really wide leaves there, which are really quite tough and easy to handle, very easy to strip from the actual plant and the stem if you wanted to cut and bring this one into the house. Producing flowers that are somewhere in the region of about 4 inches, about 20 centimeters across. They are made up of an outer run of dark cerise pink petals containing a bowl, hence the Bowl of Beauty, of cream or white petaloids. Now petaloids are actually petals which are very thin and fine. You can see they almost look like they've been sort of shredded in the center there. They're spoon-like and quite long and thin in their makeup, making this really lovely open goblet shape to the flower. Very attractive. The flower would open and close with the sunshine, and sometimes also track with the sunlight as well. Because of its really open form, this is the kind of peony that's going to attract pollinators into the garden. They're not going to get a huge amount out of it, but they are going to find this particular flower incredibly interesting. There's no fragrance whatsoever on Bowl of Beauty at all. There's absolutely nothing there whatsoever. I mean, this bloom is wet, but I say there is no fragrance there at all. You can see a little bit more on this one. That deep cerise pink bowl on the outer side, on the outer edge, hasn't quite opened on this one yet. Make sure that you deadhead Bowl of Beauty as it finishes flowering. This one is going to flower very early on in the season, all the way from mid to late May, all the way through into the back end of June. Make sure that you go over the plant and actually deadhead them to allow these other flowers to continue to come through and open and not spoil your show. This is one of the peonies that will also sometimes produce a second flush of flowers, so do make sure that you deadhead it, you give it a good liquid feed of something high in iron and potassium, and then you might get a small smattering of flowers towards the back end of July. But a really good peony for you to start off with if you're just new to gardening or new specifically to growing peonies. This one is going to reward you with lots of flowers very quickly, establish itself really quickly, form a vigorous and very healthy plant which you can divide if you want to. I mean, I've let mine get bigger and bigger here in the garden, but if you wanted to divide these and move them about the garden or give them to other people, this is the perfect plant to do that with. So this one, today's peony, is Peony Bowl of Beauty. I hope you enjoyed today's review, and I will see you all again very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.